Ryan just whispered in my ear, the rest of us have 3 minutes. So I need to get on with it. I am much honored to be here today. Never would I have believed that standing here to be inducted into the Missouri Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame would ever have happened. When the AD called me early in April, just like Coach Gorman, he's kind of a trickster, and I'm going, I said, what, basketball? I'm a track coach. I coach track. He goes, no, it's true, and he convinced me. And as a sidelight, last night we had our conference track meet in Hillsboro. Men's won the conference track meet, so I'm on a real high today. As Ryan said, about 35 years ago, Gene Steichhorst, who is a member of this organization, asked me if I'd be interested in keeping score. I was a young teacher, and the scorekeeper was going to retire in a year. He said it'll give you a chance to find out what it's like, and I told him yes, and I've been doing it ever since. Enjoyed it. Some years better than others, some games better than others. But worked with some very good coaches, including Bill Gunn, who's here. Only 2 years, but Bill, every time I go through Cuba, and that's not very often, I look for the statue of you, and I haven't seen it yet. A couple of years after that, Harold Eddy, who was at Jefferson College, the scorekeeper was leaving and asked if I would like to do it. I like college basketball, and he said, could you do it at the home games for the girls and boys? And I said, yeah, I would enjoy that. So it's been a very busy time, and no, I've never counted up how many games I've seen as a scorekeeper, but 1,500 might be close. Fortunately, I have a very understanding wife, Peggy, who enjoys sports. There would be weeks that I'd be gone 2 or 4 times a week in the evening. And as I think about it now, that may have been a plus for her. It gave her quiet time, and I wasn't around bothering her or whatever, and so it was good. I also found out fairly quickly that there were some perks being scorekeeper. One, you got in all the games free, and that was good. Beginning teachers, we didn't make a whole lot. The other one was, in a crowded gym, you always had a place to sit. And whether it was at the scores table, and Gene liked his scorekeeper to sit on the bench because he had a lot of questions during the game about timeouts and fouls and things like that. However, there is one case. When this game happened every year, I would have paid to see him, and that was at Jefferson College. The coach there was Mark Burnson. Some of you may remember him when he coached down here. The other coach was at Forest Park Community College in St. Louis, Bob Nelson. Some of you may know Bob. And when those two came, when Forest Park came to Jeffco, it was a show. Not only on the floor, okay, sometimes you forgot about the game and watched those two go at it. It wasn't mean, but it was a show. Coats coming off, ties coming off. Bob was a character, and Mark was a character, and it was fun to watch them. They were extremely entertaining. 2 other coaches that had a big impact on my life when I was in college. I went to the University of Missouri. Started the University of Missouri. I was 5'9", 125 pounds. I was never going to play sports because I was slow too. So through high school, I was a student manager. So I went to the University of Missouri and wrote a letter to Don Furrow and asked if I could be a student manager for the football team. So went and visited, finished my undergraduate and graduate degree there, and worked for 2 extremely good coaches who had a real influence on my life, Dan Devine and Al Onofrio. They were football coaches, but they had an impact. And got to see a number of games that Norm Stewart coached with some incredible athletes, and it was a good time at the university. Once again, one other thing, one downside, and the guy that invented it and started doing it ought to be shot. Strischmeyer reminded me as I came in, whoever invented the scoreboard with the individual stats on it ought to be shot. You know, parents, I never had a problem with parents until that board went up. And it wasn't me. Somebody else put that up. They put the points and stuff up. I just kept score. But invariably, halftime, or at the end of the game, or at quarters, a parent would come rushing over. Some kid saying, "My mom, my dad says that's not right on there. He's got more points than that." Okay, it's right here. There it is. But the young lady that was next to me, she missed one, and parents pay attention. And so it was always the scorekeeper. So not a good thing for me anyway. Once again, I'd like to thank my wife Peggy. She understands me, my love of sports. I've been involved with sports most of my life. Also like to thank my family that's here, my 2 nieces and my 2 great nephews. One of them who is here rather than being at a track meet back in Illinois, so he gave that up to be here. And my other family who's been texting and calling all this week, and today they're here in spirit. I'd like to thank the individuals who were involved in the process of making this honor happen for me. I don't know all the people that were involved, but I really thank them. And right before I conclude, I'd like to ask Ryan and Denny just one question, and I hope the answer is yes. Are all the inductees' names going into a hat? And at the end of this, draw a name out, and we can drive that car out in front of it. Yeah. My 2 nephews would really like to take a ride. Lastly, it is a real pleasure to be included in this group of 2013 inductees into the Missouri Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame. I never ever believed it would happen. I'm a scorekeeper. I'm not a coach. But I've enjoyed basketball. I've watched a lot of coaches work, and it's very enjoyable. So thank you very much.